this is Teacher Wayne, and I'm just continuing this recap video on making zombies, my little mini series that I'm working on. And this video, I'm going to do two things. Well, I'm going to see how far I get really, but the first thing I'm going to look at is sounds, getting some basically a background music, and also getting so that you can have sort of effects like firing a weapon. So I've going to quickly show you how to do that. So one of the rules when you're making using sounds in games is you have to use what's known as royalty free music. Now what I do is I use something called Ben's Sounds, and I suggest everyone you need to look at various different royalty-free music, but the important things is these is if you're using them you won't get charged any royalty. As soon as you put music that's not royalty-free into any game you ever make, you immediately lose the right to it, and any sort of money you make from it you automatically lose it. And that's very important consideration. So on here there's a load of royalty-free music. There are certain rules you need to obey by when you're doing it. You cannot, you cannot claim music on them, but you can sort of use it as a standard license. I suggest that you read this. But anyway, so what I've done is I've downloaded some nice I think you might have heard that. I hopefully did. So I've got some sort of nice sort of music, but I've also downloaded this as well. It's an effect of a weapon. So first thing you do is to locate some royalty-free sound effects, which is what I've done. And I've created a folder called Sounds and plug them in. Now to get them working in your game is fairly straightforward. So let's talk about the background music first of all. One of the things is that in-game you want to attach the sounds to the character you're playing. If you attach sounds to things in your environment, you might not necessarily hear it. So for background music, I tend to, and I'm not saying that this is the best way, but this is how I tend to do it, is I attach music straight to it. So on the player, with the player highlighted, there's no coding for this. You just simply get add component, and I just tapped in, you look in audio, and you want to look at the audio sources, and you add this here. Now I go to sounds and I add, oops, go back again to player, and I'm going to simply drag that music to there. Can you see it says epic? And play on a wait, we want it to play when it starts. We also want it to loop, and we can set the volume here, and it's set as 1, which is 100%. So I'm going to knock that down to about 70% because it gets a bit loud. Yeah, so that will play in a way, and we also want it to loop because it's background music always plays. So let's just, that's how you add background music, very simple. I'm going to press play. There is the music playing right now. I can adjust it here. I'm reducing it down to a nice quiet whisper. So in my game I've got some nice background music, and just to recap, we've got the zombies chasing after me. For some reason they're stuck, but they do attack animation and I will eventually die. I don't know why that's doing that. I'll maybe look at that later, but I'm not really interested in that for this video. So you want to adjust the volume to something acceptable within your game, but that's a fairly straightforward thing to do. So that's my background music. I'll just press play again. There it is. It's not too bad. You can hear me, and you can hear the there. So there you are. So that is the zombies, the music, sort of the background music for the game. Really simple. Player, audio source, and then add a background music, and you click play and away and loop. Simple as that, and you adjust the volume as whatever you want it to. Now, next thing is we want to use this sort of shoot sound. I'll quickly play. So we want to quickly have that to our game. So that's going to be a script-based thing. So we need to first of all find my code, and we find the player controller. So in here what we're going to do, first thing we need to do is we're going to go to the good old serialize field, but this time we're going to be adding an audio source. So what we need to do is we're going to add this. I'll show you what we do. So once again, it's serialize field. Serialize field, it's actually already selected it, which is awesome. And now we're going to create another private, and then we're going to add a audio. Now as we type it in, hopefully it should come up with audio source here. There you are. So we've seen it's an audio source, and we'll give it a name now. I'm going to call it shoot gun. Simple as that. So now I've got an audio source of me shooting a gun. Next thing we need is a way to activate it. Well, before we do that, I'm going ahead of myself here. We need to attach the gun to the player. So once again, we go to player. We've got an audio source, one audio source. We're going to add another audio source. So I'm going to do audio source again. There's going to be some differences between this. And here, we're going to add the sounds. I'm going to add, go back again to player, shoot sound. Oops. No, we don't override the existing one. We've got another audio source now. We add it there. But now it doesn't play on a wake, and it doesn't loop. And basically, it doesn't do anything. And we're going to set the volume accordingly. I'm going to reduce the volume down to that because I think 100% is always a bit too much. Okay, leave that as none for now because we're attaching it to the player so we hear it. We can actually get it so that we outputs in different ways, but that's out of the context of this game. So let me just save that. Sorry, it's already done that. So now here, when we go private audio shoot gun, it will link. We can link it to that. Actually, let's have a look, see if it appears. Hey, can you see audio? So what I'll do is, watch what I'm going to do. Because it's in the same thing there, we just literally drag that and drag it there. You see what I did? I clicked on that and I moved it to there. And it links this to that now, and it links it to the code. So now we have a shoot gun that can be activated. And all we want to do is activate it when we shoot our gun. Now we do have a mouse button thing, and I'm going to add here an extra bit. Well, we'll do it a little bit. So what we want to do is when we shoot, we want to equivalent to shoot our weapon. So what we want to do is we want to just basically activate the shooting gun thing. So we have here it does the shoot. We'll do it in the shoot routine actually. We'll do it there. So we'll go if. Now the one thing we've got to do is if. Now I created up here, I called it, what did I call it? Shoot gun. So shoot gun. If, oops, where are we? Your if shoot gun dot is playing. So basically what you want to check is to make sure that it's not playing that sound, because if we don't want to keep replaying it because it will just overlap each other and you end up with what's known as a sound clipping each other. We're going to make sure it is equals false. Check that it's not running, so that's why we set this to false. So if we're not playing a machine gun fire, then we want to play it. That makes sense, doesn't it? So we just go shoot gun dot, and then it's once again is playing. No, actually, sorry, it's just play. That just plays the sound. It will play the actual sound. Simple as that. So that checks as if it's playing. If it's not, it plays it. Simple as that. Now what we want to do is we don't want to constantly keep playing. We want to, as soon as we let go of the mouse button, in other words stopping firing the bullet, we want to stop shooting, don't we? So what we do in here, oops, I've messed this up. Put the wrong brackets here. I'll use the curlies. I'm just going to go shoot gun dot stop. There it is, and that stops it playing. You can't get simpler in scripting than that. So oops, cancel. Here I'll go through it. We've got two things here. If we're pressing the mouse button and it's not playing, it plays it, and then as soon as we let go of the mouse button, which is this else here, it stops shooting. So I'm just going to simply press play here. Now you might not be able to hear me doing this, but here goes. There's the background music. Then shooting. I'm pressing fire. See? Right, you may have noticed that I've also reduced the clips down to 0, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show pickups in my next video. But that is simply how we had background music to our game, and I hope you enjoy that video, and thank you for listening. This is Teacher Wayne. Don't forget to like and subscribe my videos. Thank you very much, and goodbye.